Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Peekaboo25 here, and today I am getting to you with my first video in a little while. I think it's been over a week, maybe. I lost track of the date because, YouTube's gotten a lot harder for me to do with the start of school. I went back to school last Tuesday. I have no idea when the last upload for my video was, but I'm pretty sure it's gotten over 400 views from the last time I checked. It could be at 500 by now. So before that, I want to say thank you for all those views, whether you're a subscriber, non-subscriber, recent subscriber, just found my channel because you're looking for as much information as possible on the content. Yeah, all that fun stuff. I think I came out with it Thursday, which was my second day of school, and today is Wednesday, so actually it's less than a week. So that's good. All right, so this will be my Busch Gardens Tampa Synopsis. I decided to delay my Wicked Cyclone review. As much as you like to see it, I have priorities that I need to fulfill. I am going to be starting my 100 coaster countdown bonanza with my missed, invalid, deceased, and whatever credits, along with numbers 104 to 101, the ones that don't even crack top 100 because they're so bad. But with all out of the way, that'll be my next video. I'm going to go on with the Busch Gardens Tampa Synopsis. I visited this park on August 10th, 2016, I think. Yeah, I think that's true. August 10th, 2016. I spent about 5 hours here or so, got in a few things. Let's see what I thought. The park, how I tackled this was a lot more direct than Carowinds. Because Carowinds is a big mess because there's a lot of rain in the factor. I got rained out on my first day, and then I went back that evening, and then I went back the next day to get some re-rides because I liked some things so much there, especially Fury. This was a lot more direct than Carowinds, just in, through the park, and out. So entered the park at opening time, got my map and whatever, and immediately after the park opened to the public, because basically until 10 a.m. they box people in the entrance while they recite the national anthem, the pledge, because they're patriotic down there at Busch Gardens. So here's my route. I immediately went to Cheetah Hunt. That was about a one train wait, and it does have a dual loading station, but it was a 1 or 2 train wait. Cobra's Curse, that was about a 15-20 minute wait, but I did like the queue because it was air conditioned. It had some good theming as well. Montu, that was a station wait, but I'll get to a reason why that took longer than it should later. Sheikra, that was my longest wait of the day. That was about a 45-minute wait. That was killer. And you'll see the reason why. Kumba, that was a station wait, but I'm going to say right ahead, this one, I'm going to go right forward and say they were only running 1 train on Kumba, which made that a needlessly long 20-minute wait to get on Kumba. Wasn't even that impressive. Sand Serpent, that was a station wait. And Scorpion, that was actually kind of a long wait, like half an hour. It was pretty ridiculous. I left the park after visiting the gorilla exhibit about 3 p.m. No re-rides, nothing. I just left because we had to drive 3 hours to Clearwater Beach, Florida, that island in the Gulf of Mexico. Other attractions, there were many other attractions on Busch Gardens Tampa that I stopped to see a little bit. While I was at Busch Gardens Tampa, there was a live cheetah exhibit right by Cheetah Hunt. However, I kind of blew right past that and left my family in dust because I was so excited to get on the rides because I heard that there was a high chance of tropical rains that day. That was a false prophecy. Halfway to Sheikra, between the main entrance, right before Elmo's Safari of Fun, there was a large exhibit with a large flock of live flamingos, including some white puffy baby ones. Before Kumba, we wasted about half an hour of our day watching some tigers who were skulking, prancing back and forth around the windows, being quite playful with the visitors, even pawing the windows at a couple points. Got like a 30-second video, but I haven't backed up my phone to the computer yet, so it's still on my phone. I also rode the one-of-a-kind Falcon's Fury when I had the chance. I've never been in a drop tower that size. Basically, the best drop tower that I've been on at that point was a Frog Hopper, because it's not my type of attraction. I was at a Frog Hopper at Mount Olympus in 2012, and I haven't been on one since, because just like my reason I didn't like launch coasters in 2015, I did not like the sensation of dropping. I did ride Falcon's Fury, and let me just say, that will be an experience to remember. I came off of that one with just about the same amount of rush as Top Thrill Dragster. Yeah, it's that good. Safe to say I like drop towers now, and when I'm at Great America, we're definitely going to hit up Giant Drop if the wait's reasonable. Granted, I did have to wait like 20 to 30 minutes to get on Falcon's Fury, because operations there at Falcon's Fury, because, there's so many steps, it's kind of slow. Back on our way back from Scorpion to the entrance, we kind of cut through a gorilla exhibit featuring chimpanzees and gorillas. The sightings were sparse though because they wanted to avoid the heat just like everybody else, including myself. And there were a dozen live alligators or so in an exhibit, of course, or else you'll have Orlando all over again. Sorry if I offended you. So yeah, there was plenty of other things at Busch Gardens, Tampa, that I really did like, but I have a lot of complaints as well. First, the operations were subpar. Montu, Kumba, Shikra, they were very slow dispatches. Like, there was 2 trains stacked on Sand Serpent every time. They were running 3 trains when they can only run about 2 at a time. They do have a dual loading station at Shikra, but they weren't using it. Montu, the train was stacked for like a ridiculously long time. Because, it looked so easy to dispatch, but they were just spending their time doing something else. Kumba, Scorpion, both ran 1 train, only 1 train. I did say Kumba only ran 1 train earlier. So what made Scorpion's line so long is that it only ran 1 train as well. I remember being on Super Duper Looper at Hershey Park, another similar Schwarzkopf Looper, and it ran 2 trains perfectly fine, and with some decent operations at that. You were only stacked for like 30 seconds. Cobra's Curse broke down. My bad, autocorrect, because sometimes I type too fast. Like, you should know this about me. While we were on the brake run, the elevator lift was having some problems, and while we just became the last train to reach the brake run, and then nothing was coming out of the station. I was like, okay, we're gonna be stuck here, slowly rotating back into forward position. And that did happen, but I'll just say that was pretty fun. Yeah, the Cobra's Curse is still a work in progress. They need to work out all the beta bugs. But the operations for Cobra's Curse is automated. It's run entirely by conveyor belts. Also, the layout is a lot more confusing than they make it out to be. Pathways are branched out. There's lots of foliage, dense foliage to get lost in. Sometimes the elevation is completely really high, really low. Some of the entrances of the ride made pretty much no sense because a couple of the ride entrances were dead ends or in really odd places when they were around the other parts of the ride. The layout here and finding attractions was actually pretty difficult as well. So I did get lost here a couple times, but I think once we made our way to Egypt was pretty easy. Cobra's Curse, Cheetah Hunt, Montu, easy peasy. Right by Kumba and Shikra, past when we get to the Safari of Fun all the way to Pantopia, it's really complex there. A lot of winding pathways, river crossings, dead-end entrances. It took me 5 minutes to find the entrance to Shikra because I keep walking around the ride and I found it in a little corner. It's really odd. And Scorpion's entrance wasn't really even marked. They just had some lockers and a ride attendant. I was like, hey, I can see Scorpion right there in the distance. Is this a queue for it? She was like, yes. Maybe the sign's at a really weird angle, distant from the ride. There's 2 entrances to Scorpion. Also, Cobra's Curse's entrance isn't really marked too well. It just looks like the entrance of a cave. But there is a wait timer, which isn't really accurate considering how people are piling into the ride. And the maintenance. Also, a little note, and possibly some good news, Gwazi is still standing. They're trying to hide it, but it's still standing. From Shikra's lift hill, you can see a lot of Gwazi. A lot of it. Because, or maybe Kumba's lift hill. No, Kumba's lift hill is facing the other direction. Shikra's lift hill is where you can see lots of Gwazi. You can pretty much see the entire structure. But yeah, there's some complaints there. Overall, I love the rides, love the animals, but I'm not really too keen on this park. I think it's going to be better than Six Flags America, Six Flags St. Louis, maybe Six Flags over Georgia, because they do have some higher quality rides, considering the worst thing here is a wild mouse. But I'm not really a huge sucker, if you know me, for beauty and theming. I like the rides, and I'm just mostly there to ride until sun sets, get all the adrenaline I can. Uh, I do. Uh, I like it on rides that to get that touch. I don't know what I was writing there. That's awful. Let's move past that. They also really do not have a definitive best ride. I liked Montu the best, but the other members of my party were all scattered about, mostly picking Shikra. I had my two cousins and my brother with me. I think two of the three, or all three of them, chose Shikra, and my personal favorite is Montu, but not by far. And also personally, I think it's one of the best parks in Florida with little competition because all other parks in the area kind of have only two or three coasters, unless you're Disney, where really the only thing there is like dark rides and Expedition Everest. If you're in Animal Kingdom, I don't know. Disney's really confusing. And before you say Universal Studios Orlando is broken into two, which is like Islands of Adventure and Backstage, I think each of the park has two coasters each. It's also Florida. I hate the heat. I'd rather live in the coldest winters in Edmonton than live the blistering summer in Brazil. I do not like Florida's heat. I like the state. The people there are definitely interesting. It's a very different lifestyle down there. But I do not like the heat. I mean, it was the second time in my life that sweat has evaporated off my forehead, leaving behind a thin, salty, my bad, a thin, salty residue. I kind of threw up saying that, because that's kind of gross. I remember just finding my forehead felt rough, and it just, salt was all over my fingers when I just stopped rubbing it. Oh, and speaking of which, you want to know why I say I'm doing my 100 countdown Costa Bonanza? You want to know what my 100th credit was? Montu. The best ride there, I'd marked intentionally as my 100th credit. It's not the best invert I've been on. I still prefer Banshee, but I loved Montu. It was my second favorite invert in the top 15 ride for me. Not going to exactly say where, but that is a good ride. Sheik was also in the top 20, and then the rest are kind of below, like Kumba. Well, Cheetah Hunt might be top 20. Kumba's probably top 25, top 30, maybe top 35. I don't know. Kumba was kind of rough, kind of head choppy or head snappy for B&M. But yeah, sorry about my rambling today. I'm a bit off key because it's back to school. I've only been in for 6-7 days. It's been a very odd way of getting back into the schedule. Hopefully, I can still try and get some videos up at a solid pace. Maybe I'll live up to my once a week promise at least. I mean, definitely for the first semester, because my brother does do junior football, and my father goes with him. My mother's working class, so I'm here to man down the house by myself, which I'm far old enough to do. I've been doing it I've been doing it very good. But yeah, so I'll probably have plenty of time to record to myself over the first half of the year, probably all the way up until at least at the earliest it'll stop is October. Then I'll get very cluttered trying to get some off-season uploads. I still owe you a lot of things. I did take my first fan source idea. I would love to see more of those. If you have anything you'd like to do a video about, then you can ask me. I'll take it into contemplation. I'll be there. I'll probably make it if I like the idea. I've had some ideas in my notebook that got scrapped, which is really odd. Or not odd, but it just didn't work out for me because I noticed there was a couple headers and the rest of them were just like, this would be nice, but it's not really logical. So I had a top 10 coasters that should be RMC planned out, but I threw really odd things in here in North America, most notably Pegasus and Timberwolf, and it's like, why? Why did I do that? I know they suck, but why? Because Mount Olympus hasn't gotten a new coaster in a while, and Worlds of Fun, same case. They're both smaller parks. Why would they get an RMC? I mean, Timberwolf's also been retracked as well. I'm not going to go on about that rejected video idea. I'm just going to end the video off here. If you guys are going into your later entry school year, I wish good luck to you. For those who are currently in school, stay strong. I know it's kind of a burden. If you're out of school and doing your adult stuff, your adult working things, or whatever you do as an adult, I don't know your lifestyle, then keep up with it. If you're doing a good job, then you're doing a good job. I'm just kind of wishing everyone to ease back into the calmer times of the year, because summer's all hectic and all for this amusement park junkies. because everyone wants to go everywhere in summer. Like, I wish I could have gone to Europe, like Europa Park or Thorpe Park or Alton Towers or Holiday Park, like gets on some world-class European coasters. And when does that happen again? No. I'll probably also put up a plan for my 2017. I'm just going on far too long. Just 2017 is way too far away. I mean, I did make my what's to come video for at this time. If you're still watching, thank you all for watching. I'm sorry for dragging it on for far too long. I gotta work on that because I just think of more ideas. I keep scrambling in my head, and I gotta spit them out because I'll probably forget for the next video. I'm just gonna end it here. I mean, hope you all enjoyed this video. This Busch Gardens Tampa Synopsis. Next video will be my first part of an 11-part series, Top 100 Coaster Countdown Bonanza. Hope you all enjoy. Hope you all are excited to look forward to this. And as always, peace.